Staying with Toronto sports teams, the Leafs kept their season alive with a 2-1 OT win over the Bruins Tuesday, heading back to Game 6 in Toronto Thursday night. The status of Austin Matthews remains in question.
Is Matthews a possibility for tomorrow?
He skated today. No update otherwise.
Other players got to step up, right? Nothing else we can do about it. If he's not in the lineup or in the lineup, we just got to figure out how to win.
Noted Harvey's fan Jim Montgomery asked how he's feeling after the loss.
I'm still pissed off from last night, just being honest. I don't understand and don't accept our play last night. So I'm going to be pissed off until the puck drops tomorrow night.
Keefe was also asked what it means to return back to Toronto for Game 6.
Quite honestly, it means nothing. We got to play the exact same way wherever it is. I mean, we're happy to give our fans another opportunity to play in front of them. But we have to approach the game no different than we have on the road in terms of our plan and what's required. You know, we don't have to impress anyone. We don't have to do this or that. You need to win the hockey game.
That leads to Harvey's Hot Takes with Bryan Hayes, and no surprise, we're going to talk Leafs. But, Bryan, first I have to mention the Leafs have lost 6 games in a row at home, and you have been present for each of those games. And now there is apparently an online petition circulating to keep you out of the building Thursday night for fear that it might be 7 in a row. Thoughts on that and your growing power within Leafs Nation?
Yeah, I'm flattered by that, actually. Also, I clearly can't figure this one out and think it's maybe the most absurd thing I've ever seen. Yet I'm willing to feed into it because if it boosts this show, my show, what we're doing, I'll basically do anything at this point. But I'm not the only one in the building, Jay. Yes, I have been there for the last 6 playoff games when they have lost all 6 of them. Mark Masters has been there, right? Other people from other networks have been there, but it's not the players. It's not. I don't know why I'm outing Masters. Now he's going to get buried for this. But the players are on the ice. The coaches are coaching. Yet it's somehow my fault, and it's to the point where if I walk in the building for Game 6, I feel like someone's going to tap me on the shoulder and say, "That's simply not an option." And it may be someone working for the team. It could be a fan. It could be someone in security. This has taken on a life of its own. And I guess I have to embrace it because, to your point, I guess I have some secret power here because that's what I'm looking for is making sure the Leafs lose every single year. Right. That's what I'm trying to achieve.
Bottom line is as long as that hand on your shoulder is not Brendan Shanahan, Keith Pelly, or Mark Masters, who has also a surprising amount of power at MLSE, as long as it's neither of those 3 people, I think you're fine, Bryan. I really do. I think you can go to the game if you want to. We just heard from Sheldon Keefe about being back home in Toronto. Interesting reaction, I thought, or interesting answer. What did you make of the coach's comments?
Yeah, I found it really interesting too, Jay. I think Keefe sounds terrified of being on home ice, which he probably should, and it's really speaks to how much losing they've done at Scotiabank Arena. And he's trying to psychologically get to a point where it's a road game at home, which again is absurd. Like, teams play throughout the regular season for home ice. It is a significant advantage, especially as the coach. You get last change, right? There's a lot of benefits that come with being the home team. Yet it's almost like those teams that say, we're going to treat it like a Game 7, even though it's a Game 1 or a Game 2 or a regular season game or a preseason game. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't treat it like it's a road game because it's not. But it speaks to the inaptitude at home, quite frankly, the fact that they continued to lose 6 straight. And this is a real opportunity for the Leafs to obviously win the game and push the series to 7. But you've dragged your fan base back into it, right? With the effort in Game 5 where they played really well, they win in overtime. It's a heroic goal by Matthew Nyes. I would say the large majority of Leaf fans were ready to check out, right? Check out not only on the season, but possibly the whole philosophy of this team. The core 4, Sheldon Keefe, Brendan Shanahan. One win is going to drag a lot of people back. There's still doubters, naturally. They're still clearly battling an uphill battle here at this point because they're down 3-2 in the series. But now 20,000 people are going to go into that building. Maple Leaf Square is going to be rocking again. It's the only game on the docket. The only game in the Stanley Cup playoffs on Thursday night is Leafs Bruins, 8 p.m. Eastern time, prime time. So Leaf fans are back. They're back in the building. Sheldon Keefe better embrace it, and they need to redeem themselves. We talked about that last night. You owe it to your fans, not only to push it to 7, but win on home ice. Allow fans to leave that building tomorrow night actually fully embracing this comeback. And if that happens, the streets of Toronto will be buzzing.
Streets of Toronto were not buzzing on Wednesday because the Jays lost another series, this time to the Kansas City Royals. And we just heard from John Schneider, Jays manager, after the loss, essentially saying to the fans, calm down, it's a long season, it's early. Why is John Schneider, Brian, incapable of showing a little frustration and just giving the fans what they want?
He can't do it. He is completely incapable of it. He's not alone either. The Jays PR spin just continues to be tone deaf, right? Yes, we understand it's May 1st. Thank you, John. We're well aware of that. We're also well aware that you're 2 games under 500 and the offense is like watching paint dry again. You know, it's happening again. They got smoked by Kansas City this afternoon. The offensive numbers are staggering in terms of what they're putting up, and specifically, again, with runners in scoring position. And it's the big boys. It's the top of the order. And we understand they're good players. Of course, Springer's a good player. Of course, Vladdy's a good player. Bo Bichette's a good player. But we are deeper into this season than I think John Schneider is willing to lead on. And they are putting up anemic statistics. Like, it's not as if these guys are just on the border of being okay. It is a disaster, the statistics that Springer and Vladdy and Bichette are putting up. And it's a carryover of last year. I think that's where the tone deafness comes in here for Schneider. Yes, it's a long season. Yes, you have 130 games left to redeem yourself, of course. But Chris Bassett was frustrated after his third start. He was frustrated again today. He countered with, yes, it's a long year. We can get out of this. That's understandable. But Bassett's frustrated. I would guess a lot of players in that clubhouse are frustrated. And fans are frustrated with this type of messaging. The same thing during the offseason where there was a lot of hope. Ohtani. That falls flat. Nothing else comes out of the rest of the offseason. And I think most people would look back to what happened against the Twins. When they lost that Twins series in 2 games, again, the offense didn't show up, really frustrating. We all know the infamous Barrios to Kikuchi. The explanation afterwards by Schneider, and then the double down by Atkins, and then Shapiro had to come out, and it got even muddier. It just is a consistent theme from Shapiro to Atkins to Schneider when it comes to just getting a simple message out to the fans that you have an urgent will to win. You are going to get there, but you're also equally frustrated because this is not simply about what happened today. It's not about what's happened the first 32 games. This is a year and almost a third into this new season where it's been the exact same script. And it's very difficult, I think, for fans to embrace. It's very difficult for fans to see it completely break out. Some players will get better. Of course they will. But will it get good enough where you're actually in World Series contention? Even though it's May 1st, I don't think anyone can sell that. Schneider, Atkins, Shapiro, and even if they tried to, I'm not sure the fans would buy it at this point.
Okay, Brian, before we let you go, we were all excited, the crew, myself. You made your first in-studio appearance with us on yesterday's show alongside Frankie Corrado. We had a great time. But we need to show the folks a little behind-the-scenes moment. We were preparing our segment, and our cameraman, Tom, was trying to sneak a Harvey's mug onto the set because we always have a Harvey's mug on the set because Harvey's is our sponsor. Have a look at what happened.
They still only scored 2 goals, yet they won the game. Their power play still... Sorry, guys.
Oh, no problem.
That just threw me off.
No, that's okay.
I'm so sorry. I was
okay.
like, I don't know what's going on here.
No.
Like, are we redoing this?
No, it's okay. Tom, that's all on you.
My bad. I was feeling that too, man. We had the great spontaneity on Jack Edwards.
That was a good one.
Absolutely rolling, too.
Okay. So you made Frankie Corrado so happy. I've never seen him smile and laugh that much. What was going through your head, Brian, as Tom, our veteran camera operator, was approaching you as you're trying to make a point on live television?
Flabbergasted. I could not believe what I was witnessing there. And honestly, you know what I appreciate is it proved how much of an amateur I was in terms of being in studio because Tom never even like adjusted his disposition even after we had to reshoot. He basically was looking at me like the veteran he is. Like, dude, what's your problem? Like, no apology, no, hey, it's sorry, I won't do that again. It was, you're an idiot, keep going, we'll play over this. Like, what's your problem? And I actually really appreciate that, because Tom's been doing it forever, and obviously you guys do this every single night, and I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened, yet it's probably the first time someone reacted the way I reacted, because I was completely thrown off. I had no idea what was going on. I honestly thought I was getting punked, and I appreciate you playing that, because in the moment I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? And it actually looks even worse than I thought it would have in the moment. So shout out to Tom, who's probably there right now. And next time I see him, I will not make that mistake.
Can we, Artie, can we get the camera onto Tom here? I don't know if we get, there's Tom right there. Look at Tom. What a vet. He did it. He did it. He
What's
is a
up,
veteran.
Tom? What's up, Tom?
What a fun moment. I love stuff like that. You're the best, Bryan. And listen, more studio appearances. It'll just get smoother and smoother, just like the way Harvey's has been serving Canadians burgers for 65 years. Bryan's been serving up hot takes since '83. That year in 1983, the Leafs won 20 home games. 20 of them. Thanks, Bryan. Appreciate it.